What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm your host, LL, leader of the handmadeandbeyond.com website and community. I'm a self-employed entrepreneur, an Etsy expert, and business coach who's figured out how to make my entire living with my handmade business. Each week, I'll dive into strategies and success tips to help you with your handmade business, with Etsy, and everything in between. Let's dive in. All right, guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast, where we talk about everything handmade, everything Etsy, give you guys tips, strategies so you can grow your Etsy business, be successful, meet and exceed your goals. That is my hope for you. So I got another great episode for you guys. Hopefully you're all doing well and your 2021 is going good. Many of you guys are starting to get ramped up for some upcoming holidays, which is always exciting. It's always a good way to increase sales, whether it be Easter, St. Patrick's Day, all that good stuff is right around the corner. A good time to showcase some of your new products, maybe stuff you've sold before, things that have been successful. So holidays are a good way to sprinkle in some growth and some extra sales throughout the year. So it's always good to capitalize on that. But what I want to talk about today is conversion. This is maybe something that you guys aren't familiar with that term, or if you just started, or maybe you're very familiar with it and you don't have a good relationship with it, because if your conversion rate is not good, it can be super frustrating. So I've been there and I totally understand. Your conversion rate is basically, out of all of the visits that you have, how many people are buying. So that is your conversion rate. Your conversion rate is basically a check engine light for your car. It tells you that it could tell you that something's wrong, but you may not know exactly what's wrong. It just says, check your engine. We can't tell you any more than that. So if your conversion rate is low, that is kind of your red flag, check engine lights going on. But really, you have to still diagnose the issue. Now, keep in mind, you can check your conversion rate for individual listings or for your entire shop, and then also for windows of time. So your conversion rate is not the end all be all one thing, always the same. So you have to look at it on a window of time, and it can fluctuate depending on how you look at it. So just like any other statistic, if you change things, you can get it to do kind of what you want, depending on what time frame you're looking at, what listings you're looking at, or for your whole shop or whatnot. The easiest way to look at it as far as your conversion rate is, choose at least 30 days or more. And then, look at it as far as your entire shop, which if you go to the stats page, you can see your conversion rate. But basically you take your total amount of sales for whatever period of time you're looking at, and you divide that by your visits, not views, visits. Remember, visits are unique visitors coming to your shop. So that's what we care about most. So that's why we should look at visits. Views, if you have one person and they look at every single one of your listings, you could have one visit and 100 views. But that is not necessarily a good thing, because we want more different people coming to our shop. So if you have, to figure out your conversion, if you have 5 sales and you have 100 visits, you would take 5 divided by 100, and your conversion rate would be 5%, which is a pretty good conversion rate. So depending on what you want to look at, what length of time you want to look at, if you want to look at individual listings or your entire shop, that's how you figure it out. But your stats tab will tell you for your entire shop what your conversion rate is, and you can change in the drop down the number of the time frame, basically, if you want to look at 30 days, a week, an entire year. So longer is better because it gives you a better picture of actually what's going on, but then you can obviously compare it year over year in there, which is nice too, to see if it's correlating the same, or you're improving, or you're not improving, it's getting worse, which is hopefully not the case. But either way, it'll tell you a story, so you can kind of see what's going on. The other thing when it comes to conversion is what impacts it. That's what we really want to know. If we have a lower conversion rate, usually conversion rate on Etsy really varies from, I think the average is about 1% to 5%, I would say, depending on your niche, but that's probably a pretty good average. So we want to shoot for above 1%. If you're below 1% and you're looking at the length of time, for like the last year, that's really not good. Something's going on there. So you can dive in and look at individual listings to see kind of what the conversion rate is. Maybe there's a couple of listings really bringing that down. Or maybe if all the listings are relatively the same as far as conversion, then you're making probably the same mistake. So what impacts conversion? This can help you diagnose what's going on. These are the things that you want to look at. So if you have a low conversion rate, pricing is one area to look at. Maybe your pricing is too high, which is usually the thing that jumps to people the most, or maybe it is too low. If it's too low, it's going to take away from the value of your listings. People don't necessarily come to Etsy looking to buy the cheapest thing. They want to buy something that's handmade, high quality, that they're going to be happy with. So if you're just going super, super low to try and beat your competition, that may not always be a good thing because it may cheapen your product. So look at your pricing, make sure you have, good pricing, make sure it's comparable, more or less. I mean, you want to make sure that it's kind of in the same wheelhouse. Doesn't mean you have to do what your competition's doing. But look at that. Another area, and this is a big one, is pictures. If people aren't buying, and it may mean that you're not representing the item well in your photos. So if your photos are dark, it's hard to see the detail in your items. You can't really see maybe they're cropped too much, so you can't even see the full item. If you don't have enough pictures where it shows the angle of everything of the item, or it's in its natural setting. Really, a lot of times it comes down to the lighting and just making sure that you can see the detail and the quality of your item. That will help convert it. It will help build confidence. Pictures are super, super important to not only people looking at your listing, but actual converting of your listing. So check that out. If your conversion rate's low, it may be because of your descriptions. If you have a 5-word description, that's probably not building a lot of confidence, a lot of value in your item. So make sure you're filling out your descriptions thoroughly to make sure you're covering all your bases. The goal of your descriptions should be able to ask or answer any question before the customer has to ask it. This will keep them happy, engaged, and want to buy from you. If they have to ask a question or they don't understand something, they're probably just going to leave and go to another shop. Unfortunately, most people won't take the time to reach out. So make sure your descriptions are very thorough. Explain the item. There's nothing confusing as far as your descriptions go. So that could help you as well. Another thing to consider as far as your conversion rate is if you have any variations, are they confusing? Or if you have personalization, is that confusing? Do you have ordering instructions in your descriptions? Have someone else, have a friend or a family member take a look at your listing and see, hey, does this make sense? Is anything confusing? Is anything tripping people up? Because sometimes you may be too close to it and not be able to see it. And then someone else jumps there and they're like, whoa, this doesn't make sense when I add this variation. I don't understand what I'm getting. Or so anything like that kind of trips people up, trips buyers up. They're going to leave. People scare easily. So you just want to make sure everything is flowing nicely and makes sense and is building value in your listing. And that will help your conversion rates. The other thing that'll help your conversion rate too is customer service. If you're answering questions fast, people are reaching out to you, you're being super polite and super thankful, and you're reaching out back to them quick. Most people will buy from you if you reach out really, really fast. You can get the Etsy Sell on Etsy app, which is nice. You can have it set up where it sends you push notifications for people reaching out. So you don't have to check your email in hopes to catch a customer asking a question, because it does forward those questions to your email as well. But if you have the app and you have push notifications set up, most of the time you can snag those questions pretty fast, respond to them immediately, and then chances are they're going to buy from you if you've answered their question appropriately, and you have what they want to buy. So that's one thing that you can do to really, really help your conversion rates as well. The other things that you can do is you can offer coupon codes as far as people that set up. You can set up coupon codes in the marketing tab of Etsy for people that add items to their cart or they favorite items. So this will entice them to buy from you. If usually how it works, if they're opted into Etsy marketing and they are logged in and they add something to their cart or favorite something, Etsy will send them a coupon code within 24 hours, telling them, "Hey, you added this item to your cart. Would you like to come back and buy?" Granted, you have to have these set up and you have to choose a coupon to send to them, whether it's 10%, 15%, whatever you want to do. But the idea is to send that to them so they come back and buy from you. And you will get buyers that come back and buy from you if you have this set up. It's not going to be earth shattering. It's not going to be crazy, but you will snag some low hanging fruit by doing this. So that will definitely help as well for your conversion rates. So those are the top tips that I have as far as you can immediately look at and kind of see, is there any problem areas? Is there anything that I have to fix to clean up my conversion rate? Especially if you're getting a lot of visits and it's just not comparable to the amount of sales that you're getting. There could be some easy fixes in there that you can tweak to really get your conversion rate up. I mean, if your conversion rate's low and you're also getting low visits, that tells me that there's probably some type of SEO issue going on where you're not even getting traffic, and the traffic that you're getting isn't converting, because you have to get a decent amount of traffic to start getting conversions. If you're really not getting much traffic to begin with, that is another problem area as well. But you want to make sure that when you start to get traffic, that it will convert and people are going to be wowed with what they see. But it takes, you got to push that boulder up a hill for a little bit. You won't get a bunch of traffic right away, especially if you're just starting out. You got to pay your dues. You got to keep working at it. So that would be my motivation for you, is just to understand that it does take time. Keep pushing that boulder up the hill and learning along the way and using what these stats tell us to make improvements, because they do tell us a story. Not always the complete story, but they do tell us a story that we can dive in and at least have a starting point with things that we can try and work on to improve. And then down the road, as you learn, as you progress, you will get better. Your conversion will get better. You'll get more sales and you'll be a lot more happier, I'm sure. So hopefully this helps as far as diving into some initial best practices to help get you started for your conversion rate, and at least understanding what it means. If you haven't come across it yet, it is a good number to look at. But again, just be mindful of how to use it and make sure that you're using it the right way, as far as a length of time and just knowing what it means and what are kind of the average benchmarks. Because some people, I've had people come to me and say, my conversion's only 10%. This is terrible. And I'm like, no, that's good. I want your conversion rate. That is an amazing conversion rate. And it does vary slightly between niches and different items like that, but it is a good benchmark to keep in mind, especially when you're looking at diagnosing some issues. So hopefully it helps you guys out. If you guys are not members of the Handmade and Beyond community, you guys know that I'm going to ask you to join. Let me help you with your Etsy business. I have a free trial still going on. You can get in there for 30 days free, test drive everything. You're not going to break anything. I'm confident that I'm providing a lot of resources, help. I have a help forum that I'm in every day. I do live member-only coaching calls every month. Anything you guys need, you need critiques, you need me to give you feedback, you need me to look at something, you need to bounce ideas off of me. That's why I created the Handmade and Beyond community. So you have a place to go, a safe place to get feedback, to learn and grow your Etsy business. Because I know you can, and I know that there's a lot of people just like you that want to start building and grow their Etsy business as well. And I would love to see you guys in the community, getting the help you need, getting the support, and just have a place to come and hang out with fellow Etsy peeps. It's always fun. Our member calls are super fun. We always have a good time. We always learn, dive in, do deep walkthroughs, all kinds of stuff. So hope to see you in there. There's a link below. You can join 30 days free. Outside of that, I'll be back next week with some more Etsy brain busters for you to help grow your Etsy business. Have an awesome rest of your day.